If you just picked up your PBIS Behavior Referral plus Dashboard System, this video is your start here. All you've got right now is the quick start guide. By the end of this video, you'll have a live sheet, a live form, and your first referral flowing through the dashboard. Open up your quick start guide, and the first link will take you to the master sheet template. Scrolling to page 2, you'll find your Launch Hub. Select the yellow button where it says Create Your Dashboard System Copy. From here, it's going to pop up a new window asking you to make a copy. Select the blue button. As it generates the copy, you're going to be waiting patiently for a customized menu to appear after the Help button. It'll take about 15 seconds after the sheet initially starts to generate. Please be patient. From here, we can see that it is now ready. If after about 45 seconds it still does not appear, you can hit refresh or you can try to create a new copy. The next step that we're going to do is initiating our Google Sheet and dashboard, as well as generating the Google form for the referral. Select the custom menu and drop down to Initial Setup number 1. It's then going to ask for authorization to run the script. Select OK. A third window will pop up. It's going to ask for permission to use your Google platform so that it can create the Google form. Select all, scroll down, and select Continue. From here, it's going to generate some prompting questions to customize this dashboard to your school. Give it your school's name. The next prompt is for which school year, the administrator email address that you would like to receive any initial referral notifications. If you have more than one administrator that you would like to receive the emails, you can separate by using a comma and then a space. The admin password is used for section 2 for any administrator that you would like to be able to come in and edit the Google form to add the administrative response for the referral. Keep this simple. My recommendation is behave 1, 2, 3. It's something that I can remember easily. If you do forget this password later on, you can always come back and regenerate a new password. This is asking for the student information system that your district uses to input any major referrals. And then it's asking if you would like to have homeroom teachers be copied on emails. This is a new add-on that I've created where every homeroom teacher, if they were not the original creator of the discipline referral, that they are still CC'd on that student's communication so they know what is going on. Select yes here, and again, select yes for the next prompt, where it's asking to create the tab. The next few prompts are going to ask you about the different administrative action request options that you would like your Google form to have for options for your staff members. The first one is for document only. This is for if you have a system that you are looking to create clear documentation around behaviors that might not need an administrative response and are handled in the classroom. Maybe it's for your kiddo who does not ever really reach a major status, but they are being maintained behaviorally wise by the classroom teacher pretty consistently, and there needs to be some documentation around that student. Select yes if you would like this option. The second option is if there is an administrative action needed. The third prompt is if there is an urgent response required. It will change the subject line in your email. And the fourth and final one is if the staff member is unsure whether an admin is needed, they're just letting you know this is going on, I can just give that not sure guidance requested. The last prompt is just asking if you are ready to create that referral dashboard. Select yes. After you select yes, be prepared. This is going to take about a minute to generate all of the tabs. It's also going to be generating your Google form in the background, so be patient. Now that this is finished running the initial setup, I can now see that my Setup Start Here tab has changed dramatically. It has now got my custom information that I have input during the prompting session. It tells me next steps, as well as it gives me what each purpose of the dashboard custom menu options will do. You will also see that it has the discipline data dashboard is here. The visual charts have now been started to create, but notice there is no graphs yet. We don't have any data. And then there is a fourth tab here where your form responses will go, as well as the final tab is the homeroom teacher map. In the next portion of this video, what we will do is we will learn how to create that homeroom teacher map and then to have it generate into your Google form. We have made it through the initial setup, and our next stop is to create the homeroom teacher map, as well as to generate it into the Google form and to give you the opportunity to look through the Google form and customize it towards your school. Here in this final tab, take some time here where you can add and insert rows based off of your teaching staff, homeroom teacher's name, the display name that you would like to be displaying on the Google form. So you can just put Smith or whatever their last name is. You're going to input the teacher's email address. Make sure that you take your time here and that the email addresses are correct. If you have co-teachers in a classroom, you can also separate with a comma and then a space. So take some time, select pause from here, and create your homeroom teacher tab. When you are ready to continue, resume the video, and I'm going to go into the next steps. Okay, from here, you have now generated all of your teachers' names, and you are ready to have them put into the Google form. You select the Referral plus Dashboard menu, and you're going to come down to number 5, Update the Form Homerooms from Map. This is going to run the script, and it's going to double check all of the names that you have here. It's going to connect the emails to the trigger forms every time that a referral is received. After it is done, it will prompt you to let you know that it has been completed. Here we're going to come back to the Setup Start Here tab. On the main screen on the left, you will find the Google Form Edit link as well as the Google Form Live link. The Edit link is what you can customize and edit, and then the Live link is what you will then be giving to your staff to fill out the referrals. So we're going to take a moment and open up the editor. Here we find our Google form. This is your opportunity that you can customize the color of this form. You can add a banner by selecting the art palette up at the top, choose an image and create an image for your Google form. You may change the color. All of this is totally customizable. So the actual visualization of this form, you can choose to your school's preference. The next thing that I would like to point out is right here is asking for your staff members to type out their email. My suggestion is to, instead of having them type out the email, to change the setting and collect a verified email so that it's not going to create an issue where the original creator of the form might have had a typo and they're not going to receive the response from the referral. So I'm going to change settings. Drop down the caret from responses, and instead of responder input, select verified. Come back to questions. And then from here, I'm going to just quickly run you through a couple of things and make sure that you take note of some things that just cannot be changed or the entire system will fall apart. The very first thing that you're going to see is the entry type, where there are 2 different entries. There's an initial referral and the admin response. Anytime that a staff member is creating a referral, they're going to use the initial referral entry type. When the administrator is ready to come back in, edit the form to add the administrative response, they're going to change the entry type to admin response. The entry type section cannot be changed. Leave this section alone. From there, if we scroll down, we'll see those 4 options that we were prompted about earlier for the admin action requested. This is going to change the subject line depending on which one the staff member chooses. Your homeroom teachers should now be listed in this section. You have the student name last, then first. Please note that the asterisk means that it is something that must be filled out, which also means it must be stayed the same, or the email trigger is not going to work correctly. Same, it will ask for grade. Do not change the grade. You can change the options for the grades that you have. However, incident date is there. Incident time window, you can change the options for the time window, but do not change the header. All of that is the same on the way down. You can change the options, but do not change the headers. For description of incident, you will get to these when we actually test out the live form. You'll see possible modes for motivations. This will help your behavior team, any contacts, and then so on. From here, take a moment to go through. Make sure that you are not removing sections unless they do not have an asterisk. For admin classification, if you do not need this, however, this does help with the behavior dashboard system, so my suggestion is to leave it alone. It is not a requirement to keep, but it does help with that documentation purposes and for your PBIS. Administrative actions can be changed of what you chose to do. And then from here, I will leave you to figure out what you would like to customize. For section 3, we will visit the live form and create a testing referral so that we can see how the dashboard works. You have now customized your Google form for your school, and we are ready to start testing the referral form and looking to see the data of how it is generated in our dashboard as well as our visual chart. So we're first going to open up the live form, and we're going to fill this out. So now there is a verified email. All your staff members need to do is select the checkbox. The entry type should be an initial referral. The administrative action requested, we can test all 4 of these just to see how they will change into our email. But for now, let's start with no documentation only as the first option. Select a teacher. From here, if you're selecting a teacher, I would recommend you popping in, letting that teacher know that you're just testing something out and to ignore it for now. Your student's last name and then first name, the grade that they are in, the incident date that this has occurred. Pick your time window. You can just go through these quickly as we're just testing just to see how it works out. Now, in the description of incident, this is where I tell my staff to keep the description factual and brief. We don't need a paragraph long incident here. I do not need to see opinions of what they feel should happen. Just keep it short because this is what I'm going to copy and paste into the student information system. Also, do not use names in the description of incident. Just use student A, B, and C accordingly. So in this situation, we're going to type out the incident. So I have now typed that student A has kicked student B then kicked and punched student A. Who was being involved? This is where I would like to see the names. So student A was Charlie and student B was Snoopy. Noticing that student B kicked and punched student A, we're going to need to have a referral for student B as well to create their documentation. This system also helps you with that. Hang tight and let me show you. So possible motivation here was that we were getting peer attention. Has the staff member contacted the parent about this incident? Not at this time. Was there an injury? Yes, there was a student injury. Is there a pattern to this behavior? This appears to be an isolated event. Hit next, and then they're going to hit submit. From here, within about 20 seconds, we should see an email generate into my inbox here. All goes well. And there it is. So we can see that the subject line says document only. So I know when I see this as an administrator, there's no action needed on my part. I can archive this for later, but it is going to start creating that documentation within our dashboard. I'm going to open this up so that you can see what this now has organized the information to look like. You see at the top that there is a submission link where the administrator can come back in here, open it up, and add their admin's response. You can see the details have been organized within a table. It has given you your description of the incident as well as the others that were involved. And then at the bottom here, it says add another student to the same incident. This is what I feel to be the rock star part of this referral system. There is nothing more annoying to a staff member to have to create an additional referral form for another student. That's exactly the same as the one that they did. What this does is that if the staff member who will also be receiving this email in their email box will get this, they can click this link and it will automatically duplicate it for the other student. If the staff member just doesn't have time and you want to do this for them, as you can see, it's super quick and easy that now everything is already there for you. You just need to change the student name. So we're going to select our email address. I'm going to change this admin response because, again, we're just testing here and I'm showing you the different subject lines. This was now Snoopy has now created this one. I'm going to change the grade just so I can see something different in my dashboard. I might change the date. I'm going to change the window. Let's change where it happened. And everything else is going to stay the same. Okay. I am going to hit next and submit. And again, in my inbox, another email should populate here. The subject line will be different. It will now say admin response requested. Okay, so response is now required. We're going to open that up and there it all is. Now that we can see how the duplication works, we can go in and select this top edit link where we can have our admin response created. We're going to select the second entry type, admin response. We can review the form again, select next, and now section 2 will appear, prompting you with that password that you've created. Admin classification for this, major referral. What did you do for the referral? You can select what you've done. Did you remove the student from the instructional environment? Was there suspension? How many days occurred? Was there any PBIS system response needed there? What you could see was there classroom teaching needing, individual teaching, select it, ECO. Then the administrative comments to the referring staff. This gives your staff member that closure of what did you do with the student. You can fill out this. We're just testing, so I'm just keeping it simple here. Any administrative notes that you would like to give to yourself or later, and then you're going to hit submit. From here, I'm going to now see that the response has been submitted, and I'm going to get a copy of the receipt of that response in my email address, and the teacher will also get this response who submitted the referral, and if the teacher was a different teacher than the original submitter, the homeroom teacher will also receive the admin response submitted so they know what is happening with their student. Okay, from here, we're now going to take a look at, for section 4, the dashboard and the responses on the Google Sheet. Okay, so I have gone through and I added a couple more testing referrals. You can do the same here just so that you can see how the dashboard actually works. If we scroll over to the 4th tab where it says form responses, you're going to see all of those responses that were added in. I now have 4 in here. It's going to give you a link to that referral in case you have not closed it out. As you can see, I have not closed out 3 of these. It's going to give you options as to whether the student entry has needing to go into your student information system, and it will just summarize the entire form for you. But the link is always here just in case you forgot to close out that referral. So just so you know, that is there in this form responses. And let's take a look at the discipline data dashboard, which is my chef's kiss most favorite part of this entire system. Here, it will give you your snapshot at the beginning. It will tell you how many referrals. Notice this is the total of 3 because one of them was a documentation only. I still have 3 open, 3 majors, synergy needed. It gives me that snapshot really quickly so that we can see what actions still are needed on the administrative part. It gives you the TFI evidence here. It gives you a priority of what needs to happen. 3 of these are at high. They're still needing you to review them and follow up on them. You can click open and it will give you into that referral. For support flags, as your students start to build up in their documentation, if a student has received 5 referrals or 3 referrals in a week, it's going to start to flag these students for concerns, and you're going to see it right here under the support flag. Then next is the staff tier 1 calibration flag. So if you have a staff member who seems to be putting in quite a few referrals, there might need to be some calibration for your PBIS system. It gives you some questions that you can be asking based off of this data that you're going to see. All of these can be asked in your tier 1 behavior meetings. What is the referral volume, increasing, decreasing, or stable? Looking at these different components is giving you all of the things that you need for your meeting. And then you come down and it's going to start to give you that data in a graph format. So this is called a start line graph, where you can start to see that it's going to count and then give you your percentage as well as give you the start line graph. And then if you keep scrolling down, it's going to give you those recent referrals. And then to see the visual trend snapshot, you can either open up the visual charts from this link or you can just go to the 3rd tab. And here you will find the big, larger graph. So you'll see the total referrals by month. I'm only input instance for the month of July as my test here. You're going to see referrals by location, by grade, problem behaviors, homeroom, classrooms, time windows, functional motivations. And then you're going to start to see your trend graphs as well. Graphing location trend by month, seeing if those are getting better after some reteaching. Same for grade trend and your behavior trend. All of this helps you with your reteaching. What areas need higher focus, might need more staff, might need to have your teachers implement and emphasize rules within the classroom before they go to the playground, etc. And then the location time window. These are your heat maps. This is going to start to look at all of the little components. If arrival is happening at that location time, is it happening more at a certain part of your day? Is the bathroom, are you having more behaviors happen at a certain time window of your day? Behavior, is that happening based off of a certain function or motivation, so that you need to know that there needs to be a specific teaching or target interventions for this specific behavior due to this motivation. So these are your heat maps. So everything is here and ready. The questions are there for you to ask for your PBIS team. For instance, for PBIS team question, where do we need stronger supervision, pre-correction, or reteaching based on our location? So all of these questions are there for you directly with the graphs so that you can run your meetings effectively You can change your facilitator. It doesn't have to have you as the administrator at everyone leading them all. They should be able to be ran by themselves because now the data is here for them. The questions are here for them. Those minutes should be much easier. We're just going to copy and paste the question and then answer it based off of the graphs that we're seeing. After you have finished testing the system and feeling comfortable enough to share with your staff and have them test as well, you can then remove all of your testing data by using one of the functions from the custom menu. Before we close and show the resources from the guide, I want to highlight again that on the Setup Start Here tab, there's the Referral and Dashboard menu that gives you all of the functions and their purpose. When you are ready, you're going to come to the Custom menu and drop down to number 9 for clearing your test data. This is going to wipe everything clean and have you ready for day 1. So go ahead and select 9. It will then prompt you to be sure that you want to delete all of your data, to clear to be sure, and then hit OK. It says it has been done. We can check back at our dashboard, and now we can see that everything has been wiped clear. Our responses are gone. Our visual charts are all back ready to get going. This is the end of setting up our Google dashboard. From here, I'm jumping back to the Quick Start Guide just so that you can see that you have other resources. You have an implementation manual, the basic troubleshooting guide, a staff launch email, staff instructions, as well as a final launch checklist. I highly suggest you take a look at that checklist before you're ready to launch with your staff. And as always, anytime that you are starting a new system, it is best to review this in a staff meeting, but these resources will give you your follow-up emails and follow-up instructions for after those meetings. I really hope that this helps you with your next school year. I would appreciate if you could leave me some feedback. Feel free that if something is not quite right and working the way that you were hoping that it would work, send me an email at amy@workaroundamy.com. I would be happy to hear from you, and please, if you have any suggestions of how I can make this even better, I'm here for it. Enjoy your next school year.